Okay, so very good evening. Just wanted to check the audio and video connection. Okay, so I just wanted to check the audio and video connection. Is that fine? Guys, can you confirm the audio and video, please? Do you have, is my audible? Is I'm audible first of all? Guys, am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Yes, is there any response from you that is I'm audible? Guys, I'm expecting at least a simple answer, right? I'm not asking you questions, okay? I'm asking you whether I'm audible or not. That's it. Even you're not fulfill that, let us say, I need to understand whether at least am I at least I'm audible to you or not. That is what I'm asking. Nothing much. I'm not asking your, I'm not asking any questions. I'm not asking anything from you. Okay. Okay, so let us see, we have done some examples in the last class, right? So now let us moving forward, then we are just today we are just introduce something called the another loop. So we have left with one more looping statements, that is a for loop we have left. Okay, so before we start the looping functionalities, let's say a for loop functionality especially. So we just wanted to look after some other set of functions, which is again a predefined functions. Okay, so how this predefined functions are basically working, why this particular predefined functions are having. Okay, all these things we will try to look at. The first predefined function we have to look at here is ORD. That is something called ordered function. It just takes any single character as the input. It just takes any single character as the input, and it returns you a numbers. It returns you a number. What is this number is? Okay. So when you just wanted to just look at this, and you need to check what is this number is. Okay. The number is, it takes a single character as input. It just takes any one single character as the input for it, and it just gives the output. It just gives the output as a 65. In this case, it is giving a number output as 65, right? So what is this 65 is about is prints the ASCII number of the given of the input character, right? So it means the maximum, right? You need to understand here the capital A to Z, it starts from 65 to 90. Okay, this is the first character set. Okay, Similarly, if you just look at ORD of a small character, which starts from 97, it means you just can add over here. It's a very important. It's a very important to understand. That is 97 to 122 is the small character range. And if you just look at numbers, at digits 0 to 9, which starts from 48. Okay, let's say 0 to 9, which is basically right, which is basically something called 48 to 57. And there is a last one that is a space character, a single space character. A single space character, what it does, it gives the output called 32. Right, it just gives a single space character, gives the output called 32. You just need to remember this particular the character set's length. You have to remember this compulsory. It just need to start from 65 uppercase character, lowercase character starts from 97, and the small character of a will start, digit of 0 starts from 48, and a single space character will starts from 32. Okay, please look at this particular ASCII number series. If you have, please note down this ASCII numbers, because this is will be important for you. This will be very important for you. This will be a very important for you. All right, so hope you are clear with this, right? So then similarly, this is ORD is a predefined function. Okay, now you just remember that ORD is a predefined function, as like a print, as like a the input function. Similarly, ORD is another function which basically do this. Okay. Next, there is something called another function called char. So what it does, it takes the input of ASCII number, returns the character as the output, right? A function of char takes ASCII number as an input and returns the character, respective character. Okay, so see that 68 is representing a character of capital D. Similarly, char of, let's say, 100, it is a lowercase character something. Okay, and then we can just say char of let's say 54, which is going to give a digit. Okay, and a char of a simple input character is 32, which gives you a single space character as the output. It like vice versa. First it is taking a character and returns the ASCII number output. Now this takes the ASCII number as an input, returns the character as the output. Okay, please do look at this particular cells also, because I'm telling you these are the useful things in the coming days, might be today or tomorrow. These are the important basics for that. Okay, so hope it's clear, right? Right, so the next thing which we are looking at, some another predefined function we are looking at after this. Okay, so the another predefined function which we are looking at here is the function name called range. It means it just gives the a certain range, and this function is available in different parameters. It will be available in 3 different variants, I can say. So in that case, if you just look at this option, right? If you just look at this option, I can pass a single parameter as the input. Okay, I can just what? Passing a single parameter as the input. What it does, it automatically set range function if it is only one parameter, only one value as the input, then the range starts from 0 and ends with input value -1. It means up to 9 it will be considered, 0 to 9. Okay, now this is my first one. Now let us write same range function with the two parameters. Let's say 1 comma, let's say 10, or let's say 5 comma 10. Okay, in this case what will happen, this will set right, the given range function sets the start value as 5. Okay, the ends value will be input second parameter value -1, nothing but let's say 10 -1 in this case, so that it will consider, it means a range function will not consider the second limit, it only consider the first limit. It means it will start from 5, something like this, 5 6 7 8 and 9, only 5. Here what will happen, it will start from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. That's it. Okay, next, the same range function takes you three parameters also input sometime. Okay, three parameters also it takes the input. So how do we do that? First, let's say 1 comma 10, let's say if you just take it as a 2 will be considered as a step. So now let me just write here. Okay, this range function will set the start as 1, okay, end value as 10 -1, and the last two will be act as step, right? Act as a step in the sense it will be like this, 1 3 5 7 and 9, something like this. Okay, it is auto incrementing, it's a plus, it's something like a I +4 or I +2, something like that. You can just give any value to it, it's 100% fine. Let's say range of 100 comma 150, or let's say 160 or something like that. Okay, so then if I just give a 5 as a step, what it does, the output will be something like this. Okay, 100 105 110 115 120 125, something like this. It just go up to the last value, and the last value will not be considered, before the last will be the output for this. Okay, three varieties of a range function. Please look at this. Once we have once you got a proper idea on this, we will just move into a for loop now. Just I'm giving you another 2 minutes to observe this. All right, so do you have any questions up to here? Guys, do you have any questions here up to this? Okay, so if not, we were just moving to the next option now. Okay, let us, we will actually start the loop here. Okay, we will actually start something like how do we write a something like a for loop first of all. Okay, so yes, we'll just try to write we'll try to write a for loop syntax here. Okay, so let us make a for loop syntax will looks like this. For this in a local variable, okay, which is within the loop. Local variable in the sense loop variable, I can say, right? Otherwise, if you want a little more clear, you can write a loop variable in, you write a range values or a group of values. Okay, it might be a list or it might be a range or it might be something. Then you write a loop statements over here. Here there is no need to write any kind of incrementing or any kind of a decrementing. Okay, so automatically the values will be get increased and the values will be get decreased. Okay, so same thing, if you just look at here a group of values. Okay, so in this group of values, you might place anything here. Okay, you can place anything here, or you just write a range function also. You write a list of values or list of parameters. You might write a dictionary. You might write a tuples. Okay, and then you might write a sets. Any object you can pass over here. A range values, which is having a set of values. Okay, each time a value will be get jumps into a loop variable. Okay, and that will be get executed, and each time the loop statements will be evaluated. Okay, say simple example I can write here. If I in the range function I'm writing, which I wanted to display the values from 1 to 10. Okay, so then I can just write a print a local variable of I, or you can just say loop variable. Okay, the intention is to print the values from 1 to 10. Okay, so let us see what is printing. So as I told you that just the before the example starts, the before just before we are just starting a loop, we have been discussed about it that the second range will not be considered. For example, you wanted to print 1 to 10, you have to write +1 to the last variable. It means like I need to write a same loop, something like this. Same loop, but I just need to write just look at these two loops so that you will understand. So what is the changes we have done here? The changes what we have done is here we wanted to print actually 1 to 10 as the function of range is unable to consider the second value. Okay, so it's just printing up to 9, correct? So if you wanted to make a 10 also, you need to write a +1 to that, because that is the nature of it. For example, I'm writing the same for loop, right? I'm just giving only range function with only one value. What will happen? Let's say I wanted to say something like a 25. Okay, what happened here if I'm giving a 25? Because I don't have any start value for this, correct? I don't have any start value for this, but default automatically the range function will take it as a 0. Okay, by default it is taking as what? 0, and the last value it will be considered as what? 24. Am I correct? Right, this is single parameter, this is a 2 parameters. Okay, one more example I need to show here, that is in the range of 1 comma 10 comma 3, for example step 3 or 2, something like that. So I wanted to print the values over here. What is that values? I. You just use the and symbol and just see that it just every time it is incrementing a +2 to that. Not only this, you can just write any example, right? Let's say 100 comma 150 comma 5. I'm giving a step range. When I'm giving a step range of 5, you see that it just starts from 5. When it is able to reach for the final value, automatically the loop will be get terminated. Correct? So please, just wanted to everybody need to look at this particular stuff, right? It's a very important as the loop gets starts for loop. Okay. So now let me know once you observe this. I'm just giving you a 3 minutes time. Please look at all the cells. All right, so hope it's clear, right? So this is for the different varieties of a for loop statement, correct? The next thing which we have to understand here, let's say uh, print the numbers from, let's say I wanted to print from 10 to 1, right? I just wanted to print a numbers from, let's say what, 10 to 1, nothing but reverse order with the help of range and a for loop. What is that? You just need to use a range function and then followed by you have to use a for loop to it. Okay, now how do we write this process? How can we write it? Okay, so simple. What I can do is very important. This question is very important, guys. This question is very important, especially for Python programming or Python related stuff. They might ask you this question. Okay, so first of all, I'm just trying to write a loop from 10 to 1, right? How do we write a 10 to 1 here? It's pretty simple. You just understand. Okay. First, for loop, make sure that you write a local variable as whatever you want. It doesn't mean that I, okay? It doesn't mean that it is I. Most of the people say that it is I only, but it's not that. You can write any variable name. Let's say I'm writing here X, and I'm just writing a range function. Okay, and I wanted to print a value called X and just wanted to print here end value. Okay, so what is the input parameters for the range function to make it values to be printed from 10 to 1? Okay, start value supposed to give it as 10, last value supposed to give it as 0. Instead of incrementing, we are just going for a decrement. You just see the parameters. You need to understand the parameters. Parameters right now we have given in the reverse order, correct? The first parameter we have given end value. Second parameter we have given a start value, as we are expecting to print from a reverse order. Okay, so for that what we need to do is -1 for it. We just need to use for what? -1, so that automatically it will be get worked out. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? For example, you wanted to print from another set of range. Let's say 100, comma, let's say 1. In the reverse order, I wanted to print -10. Okay, you just look at here. A values is going to print it in the reverse order. Each time I wanted to decrease the values to -10 of it. I need to very simple, very simple to do it. In Python, especially with the help of a range function and with the help of the for loop, we can do the reverse. Will be a pretty much simple. Okay, now please look at this. I'll just give you another 3 minutes. Please follow this two cells. All right, so hope you have clear with this stuff, right? So any questions up to here right now? Okay. Any questions here up to this? Guys, do you have any questions up to this? Okay. Then the major question here is both while and do while, right? Both while and do while is sorry, both while and a for loop, especially for Python programming, if you're talking, right? So in this case, both are looping statements, right? Right? Your for loop and a while loop both are loop statements. Okay. So if you just have a both or loop statements, then what is the difference here? Right? What is the difference between a for loop and while loop? Okay. Both are using for a same, right? Both are using for a same reason. It means like it is using for a loop, second is also using for a loop, correct? So in this case, what is the difference we can hand over, right? The first difference is while is used when there is no there is what I can call it as exactly there is no limits of a loop, or else you can even call it as like this. While loop is used when the user does not know the number of iterations, right? It just used when the number of iterations doesn't use, will use this. Okay, when it is for loop is used, a for loop is used when the user knows exact the number of inputs, right? These are the very important, especially for an interview point of also, it is pretty much important. Okay, please just try to understand this. Try to understand this. This is very important in terms of your what I can say, the interview point of view. Okay, so they might ask you directly this question: if both are having the same looping statements, both are pointing as a loop statements, what could be the difference? What could be the difference between what could be the difference between a for loop and a while loop? If you just take a for loop, you required a proper number of iterations. Okay, and and if you are using a while loop, it means that you're supposed to know, you're not aware of what the input numbers are, what exactly the input numbers. If you doesn't know that, then we can just go ahead for the first option. Okay, now I hope I'm clear with this, right? Do you have any questions here? Okay, somebody has dropped, I guess. Okay, might be somebody have an internet issue, I guess. She has dropped it. Okay, fine. So I even we'll try to end up the session for today. Okay. So that is what for today's session. In the next session, we will get starts with data structures of a Python programming. I hope you're practicing every day. Okay, you're practicing every day, and right? After practicing every day, you will get a very good knowledge as soon as you go forward. Okay, all right. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow then.